Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be following the Mediterranean diet for 1 week. Today is Sunday and I'm going to start off by making some oatmeal. So I'm going to do a half a cup of oats to 1 cup of almond milk. I'm going to add a dash of cinnamon. I'm also going to add a chopped up banana. I like the banana cooked up into the oatmeal. It just kind of gives it an extra sweet, yummy taste. Makes it a little bit more creamy. All right, I'm all finished. I made it a little bit runnier today than I normally do. And I'm gonna put it into my bowl. I put a small apple into the food processor, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that on top of my oatmeal. And it's ready to serve. My breakfast slash lunch or brunch was pretty easy to make this morning. It is something that I will make on a regular basis. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try it out for you. I wanna go ahead and stir the apples in. This apple was a little bit larger than the one I normally use. I'm gonna try to whip up a green salad, so I'm just going to put in some garlic and then some hazelnuts. For the greens, I'm gonna add spinach. Some nutritional yeast. And some olive oil. I had to add a touch of bottled water and then a little bit more olive oil. The rest of the dinner was pretty simple as well. I microwaved a sweet potato. Then I warmed up a couple stems of kale. And then I added about 3/4 cup of black beans. All right, now it's time to put everything together. So I poured my black bean and kales over my sweet potato. Then I topped it with the green hazelnut sauce that I made. All right, time to give it a try. I've never made this before. It's just kind of a combination of a lot of recipes that I saw online. That's very good. I think if I made it again, which is good, so I probably will, I would try to get my sauce just a bit more runny, so maybe add a little bit more water to it and just kind of play around with the texture of the sauce. But this is a really good supper, and I'm sure it's going to be very filling as well. I made the same breakfast on Monday. I just added a little variation by putting a spoonful of almond butter on the oatmeal. Very good. All right, it's time to make supper. I'm gonna start out by sauteing 2 garlic cloves and then some leftover onion that I had in the fridge. After those have cooked for about 3 to 4 minutes, I'm gonna add a cup of green beans. And then I have some baby russets that I just chopped up into quarters. And then I'm gonna add 6 of those. Half a can of diced tomatoes. I'm gonna add just a little vegetable broth. I'm gonna season this with a little salt and with a little pepper. Now I'm going to cover it and cook it for about 25 minutes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add the lettuce, the chopped up lettuce, as well as the shrimp. The timer has about 5 minutes left, so I'm just adding this for the last 5 minutes to warm everything up. I'm going to top this with some feta, and then I'm going to go try it out. I have my lemon water and my yummy looking supper. So it's time to give it a taste test. Hot. Wow, this definitely gets 2 thumbs up from me. For Tuesday's breakfast, I'm really mixing it up a little bit. I found a Mediterranean sheet pan egg recipe from Downshiftology. I can't remember exactly what it's called. So I'm taking that recipe and I'm downsizing it a little bit. I did have these elephant-sized garlics, so I just chopped up one of those. And then I chopped up about 1.5 handfuls of tomatoes and then just a little bit of red onion. And I tossed it with some olive oil. And now I'm going to put it in a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. I've chopped up about half a zucchini, some parsley, and then a little bit of spinach as well. And I've put them all into a bowl. And then I've also whisked up about 4 eggs here. So actually 4 eggs. And I'm going to pour them into the mixture. Then I'm going to put a little bit of feta cheese in it, just a little sprinkle, and some salt and pepper to season. I usually only season my eggs with pepper, but I thought I'd add a little salt. And then I'm going to mix that up, get everything all coated in the egg and the salt, the pepper, the feta. My timer for the vegetables has gone off now, so I'm going to get those out of the oven and then pour this over it. I'm also going to turn my oven temperature down to 350 and then bake this for 20 minutes. I'm going to stir it up. Whew, and I forgot it was hot. I touched the side. I'm just going to kind of spread it out as evenly as I can here. And there we go, back into the oven. My timer just went off, so I removed it from the oven, and this is the final product. She said just to kind of, if you touch it, you'll see that it's cooked through. It's a little hot, obviously, because it just came out of the oven, but it does seem to be cooked through. It looks very good. It smells very good. So I'm going to get ready to have breakfast. All right, time to taste this very yummy smelling brunch. And be sure to check out her channel and the Mediterranean sheet style eggs. I can't remember what it's called, but I did make some modifications to it. I made it a little bit smaller. So, but let's see what it tastes like. This is delicious. Definitely something I would make in the future. And she does give me instructions on how to store the rest of it. So I'll watch that here in a minute and see how to store the leftovers. But for right now, I'm going to enjoy this yummy egg breakfast. I felt like a snack today, so I went ahead and whipped up a green juice from the Reverse Health Meal Plan that I did previously. I'll leave a link to it so you can find out how to make it. And I'm going to enjoy this as a snack. It's very yummy. This can be enjoyed warm or cold. I usually prefer it cold, but it is hitting the spot right now. It's a great green juice to whip up. Today's dinner was also inspired by Downshiftology. It's a Mediterranean cod, and you just start with some cucumber or zucchini as the base. This is zucchini. Then you place a cod on top of that, a lemon, some chopped up tomatoes, about 5 of them, about 5 chopped up olives, and then a little bit of a shallot. I'm going to put on a sprig of thyme and then do a drizzle of olive oil. Then I'm going to fold this up and put it in the oven for around 15 minutes. Here is my folded up parchment paper. One suggestion I would make is to put your fish and everything towards the front so that when you bring the parchment paper from the back to the front, you don't have to scoot everything forward like I did. Now into the oven. Dinner smells so yummy that my dog is over here insisting on a bite. So I'm gonna open it up just by cutting the top here. Ooh, let all of that steam out. Wow. It looks very good. Try a little bite. Very yummy, very hot. The one difference I would probably make is not put this on there. It kind of tastes a little bit too herby for my personal taste, but other than that, I think this is delicious. Happy Wednesday, everybody. This morning for breakfast, I decided to get up and make my blueberry smoothie. After I made it, I just put it into the refrigerator to cool off for a little bit, and now I'm ready to enjoy it. This is really good. It's a very refreshing smoothie, and I just really enjoy having it for breakfast or lunch or pretty much any time of day. I will see you guys at supper time. I am needing a snack today, so I decided to make hummus. So I used a full can of chickpeas and then also 1/4 cup of tahini. This is actually my first time using tahini. I had to special order it because none of our stores around here have it. I'm gonna add 1 clove of garlic and then lemon from juice from 1 whole lemon. I filled my measuring cup, my 1/4 measuring cup up about halfway, and I'm gonna pour that in there of olive oil. Guess I better tell you what I'm putting in there. Then I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt. That was a little more than I wanted, but that's okay. And then also a couple dashes of cinnamon. I'm also doing about a half of a 1/4 cup of the liquid that comes in the chickpeas. And now I'm just gonna mix everything up and see how it turns out. My hummus is all finished, and of course I'm not gonna eat all of this right now. I'm gonna eat this with some celery and give it a taste. That's really good, actually. I might play around next time with maybe a little bit more liquid. Probably not the chickpea liquid. I think I used enough of that. Maybe a little bit more olive oil or even water just to get the consistency just right. But it tastes very yummy, especially with the celery, and I'm looking forward to my snack. For supper, I've created a salad made of red tomatoes, some black olives, a zucchini, some mushrooms, and then some green onions. I'm just gonna add some salad on here, some lettuce, and then some pickled onions, and use the dressing that I made for my Greek salad during the Riverside, so I'll link that for you. And then I'm gonna try it out. My pickled onions are added now, and I also put on just a sprinkle of chia seeds. And of course my dressing that I made. So I'm gonna try it out. This dressing was a little bit too flavorful for me. I actually wasn't able to finish the entire salad. However, it would have been great if I had just spread a little honey over the top and then the pickled onions, and that would have been perfect. So just a note for next time that I make it. Happy Thursday, everyone. Today for brunch, I have warmed up some of the leftover sheet pan egg mix that I made from Downshiftology. And then I've also been drinking on the rest of my blueberry shake that I made yesterday. So I'm just going to go ahead and see what this tastes like. Warmed up. Obviously it doesn't taste just as good as when you first make it, but it is still a very yummy meal, and it's something that I would make about that same size again, so that you wouldn't have like the full week to eat it, but you would have a little left over. And then I already know this is delicious cold and in the fridge. Absolutely. I have my bowl full of chopped veggies here. I have some of those russet potatoes, some mushrooms, a cucumber, some onion, carrots, bell peppers, and radishes. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and put some flavoring on them. So I'm going to put a little olive oil on there. And then I'm going to put some garlic powder, onion powder, some paprika, and then also some thyme. And then I'm just going to put a little pepper and salt on there. Then I'll stir this up, and I will roast it in the oven. I'll put it out on a sheet pan, roast it in the oven And I've got my oven set on 425 right now, and I'm going to start with about 20 minutes. Now we are going to make red lentils, and we're going to start by putting some olive oil in a pan and sauteing some onions. I had to put these onions in the food processor because my eyes could handle no more today. Now I'm going to add some chopped up tomatoes, an elephant garlic, as well as a leftover shallot I had from earlier this week. I'm going to add some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some ginger. These are actually not red lentils. I thought they were, but I'm going to use the rest of what I have in the cupboard, which came to 1 cup. I have a cup of vegetable broth left, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm also going to put in a cup of water. And then I think I'm going to bring this to a boil and then lower the heat to simmer for about 20 minutes. It's been about 25 minutes. And I tasted the lentils and they're soft, tender, all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on top of the vegetables and then try it out. Just as a final touch, I thought I'd add a few sesame seeds on top. I already took a bite of the roasted vegetables and they are delicious. So now I'm just going to try it all together. It'll make a pretty yummy meal. I'm still not totally converted to liking lentils. They still just kind of taste like mush in my mouth. Unseasoned mush, and as you saw, I put a lot of seasoning in there. This is by no means a bad meal. It's just not my favorite. For breakfast on Friday, I just warmed up the last of the Mediterranean sheet pan eggs. I'm gonna have kind of a late dinner this evening because I have to take my dog to the vet. So I went ahead and whipped up a green smoothie just to drink this afternoon. For supper, I'm having the leftover shrimp and vegetables that I made earlier this week. And then for dessert, I'm gonna have a piece of watermelon. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our final day of the Mediterranean diet. Happy Saturday, everybody. For brunch today, I've just decided to cut up a couple pieces of watermelon and then enjoy that with some lemon water. I like my watermelon unsalted. Just plain. I know a lot of people put salt on it, but I actually don't like it with salt on it, so this is very yummy. Also, in the area where I live, it is well known for its watermelons. It's delicious tasting watermelons. So you always want to go to the farmer market, pick up a watermelon, and then chow down on it. I'm going to go ahead and cook up some couscous. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so that I can add it to an orange salad later today. So I'm starting off by putting some olive oil in a pan, and then I'm going to add an elephant-sized garlic that I've chopped up, and I'm going to go ahead and saute that. Next, I'm going to add 2 cups of water. Then I'm going to start adding some of my spices. So I'm going to start with some turmeric, which I love to cook with turmeric. And then I'm also going to put in some onion powder, some garlic powder, some oregano, and then I'm going to add a little pepper and salt. Okay, everything's now come to a boil, and I've got about a cup of couscous left in my can here. So I'm going to pour this in. And then I'm going to simmer for about 10 minutes. And I am using the pearl couscous, if you can see that. All right, my 10-minute timer has gone off, and as you can see, the couscous has soaked in a lot of the moisture. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and turn the heat off, and then put a lid on here for 5 minutes, and just kind of let it steam. The 5 minutes is up, so I'm now just going to go ahead and put this in the fridge and let it cool down until I'm ready to make my orange salad. To go along with my couscous, I made the orange and walnut salad from the Reverse Health Meal Plan, and I'll link that for you again. A few differences was that I replaced the chicken, put in the couscous. Also, I didn't have any pomegranate seeds, so I just put in some raisins, and then I also added some spinach. And we're gonna give it a test. It smells delicious. Very yummy. This is a very good last meal on the Mediterranean meal plan. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my 1 week of eating the Mediterranean diet or the Mediterranean meal plan. Some thoughts I had on it was that it is very close to how I already eat, except I was eating more food this week. Usually I eat 1 meal a day, but it really seems to follow these guidelines of the Mediterranean diet. There were a few new recipes in here, such as I had never used tahini before, so making hummus from that was brand new. And then also, this was my second time cooking with lentils. Still not the hugest fan of them in the world, but maybe I'll get better at that and find some recipes that I really enjoy. Cost-wise, it did cost me a little bit of money to prepare for this week because I was low on groceries anyway. But overall, I really did enjoy it.